As we just mentioned, this story has made nearly all of the front pages today. Last night, a video obtained by ITV News was released showing senior Number 10 staff joking about holding a Christmas party last year that breached their own guidelines. The then Press Secretary, Allegra Stratton, is quizzed by colleagues about reports of a party as they rehearse a news conference last December.
I've just seen reports on Twitter that there was a Downing Street Christmas party on Friday night. Do you recognise those reports?
I went home. Hold on.
Would the Prime Minister condone having a Christmas party?
What's the answer?
I don't know.
It wasn't a party, it was cheese and wine.
Just be clear, it's not.
Is cheese and wine all right? No. It was a business meeting.
I'm joking.
This is recorded. This fictional party was a business meeting. And it was not socially distanced. One more, and then one more.
This all took place whilst London was in Tier 3 restrictions and hundreds of people were dying every day. We should just say that these are, of course, leaks and reports, and we don't yet know the full story. But Boris Johnson was, of course, in Prime Minister's Question Time just a few moments ago. Janet, what was the latest? Clearly, it was one of the first questions being asked today.
Yes, he stood up, made a statement at the start of Prime Minister's Questions and said he was sickened and furious to see that clip and that he apologised unreservedly. And he said he was told there was no party. Well, we know that he and his wife live upstairs in number 11, so maybe they didn't know what was going on downstairs in number 10, but one does find that really hard to believe. The other important thing is that the very next day after Allegra Stratton was filmed rehearsing that press conference, London and, in fact, England went into Tier 4, even stricter restrictions. And Christmas was a washout and a very unhappy time for hundreds of thousands of people in this country. And you can't help feeling that he now has announced an inquiry and he's asked the Cabinet Secretary to look into it. And you can rest assured by the end of today, a few people will have been shown the door. But does he imagine that he's Teflon man and none of this sticks to him? Because I think this time he's really, really got to answer seriously. How could he not know it was going on? It's just another example of Boris thinking one rule for us and another for the mugs out there.
For me, I just find it really deeply upsetting because I think the vast majority of us have abided by these horrendous rules that we've all had to adopt to try and make ourselves healthy. And I remember that press conference so vividly, and I'll never forget it as long as I live, because I was pregnant at the time, hadn't seen my family at all because of being pregnant. They hadn't seen me pregnant. I have my toddler. Frank was going to be away with football. I couldn't wait for Christmas. It was like this little glimmering light at the end of the year. And then they come on, of course, and it got cancelled and didn't see anyone. And I was absolutely devastated. It was the first Christmas I actually hadn't seen my family my whole life. And now I am just having a moan because I wasn't seeing family. What about the people in hospital who were unwell and dying, who couldn't see their loved ones? Yeah. And so there's something deeply sickening about the idea that those making the rules are having wine and cheese behind closed doors, whatever, and that seems
the
to
whole
be...
wine and cheese, she seemed to be all right. Oh, we put it down as a business expense when it's a party. She looked like she was still inebriated, if you ask me, anyway. But I'm more worried when I saw that back, her saying, what's the answer? How about the truth? How about you just tell us the truth about what's the answer?
Yeah.
It just absolutely infuriates me. My blood is boiling.
Yeah, I mean, I think, when... I think if you look at Boris's behaviour just now in PMQs, he thought he'd batted this off. And then suddenly, this footage comes out, which is undeniably damaging.
Yeah, they spent all week, haven't they, Jane?
Yeah.
He's got all his ministers to trot out onto television and the radio day after day saying, I wasn't there, but I know, I've been assured there was no party.
And
so
coming
he's
out
got
with
all the front bench backing him.
Coming out with the age-old line, it's not a scenario I recognise, blah, blah, blah. But, he's had to come out of the traps, he's had to apologise unreservedly, but, as he says, I have been repeatedly assured. So that is a key. What he's doing is he's saying, I wasn't there, I didn't know about it, and he's setting up
Yeah.
someone
He's setting
else.
up the path for somebody else to be scapegoated.
Absolutely.
But there's only so many times that you can do that, you know, and it will, part of the investigation will be, where was Boris? If he wasn't in the building...
But this is the thing, you
then
see.
he probably will be Teflon, and he probably will.
But you're saying he's Teflon. This is not the first time that guidelines set by them have been breached. And so if it's supposed to come from the top, then the top needs to lead. And if the top ain't leading, the top needs to be
I
somewhere else.
suspect behind the scenes what they're saying to him is being at work was allowed, and I expect what they said was, well, it was just all people that worked together in a bubble and somebody brought in some cheese and wine. That's what the explanation will be.
So they say.
But it's very interesting why it's all coming out now a year later.
Exactly.
It's like who is leaking this and what else is to come. And there's apparently some sort of announcement at 5:30 this afternoon, which some people are suggesting is some plan for Christmas. Well, good luck.
Yeah, good luck
making
with
it
another lockdown.
anything restrictive, because people have stopped listening.
I'm going to knock on number 10 for some cheese and wine, yeah?
Good luck, number 10.